never laced. Not from scorn of the fashions, but because she found it too hard to breathe in a tight corset. But much outdoor exercise had given her a natural trimness, and she looked well in her clothes. She was wearing a tailored shirtwaist of dark blue satin, with a white collar high around her throat, and a blue serge skirt that dropped straight to her insteps. But by a characteristic talent, she achieved smartness and freedom at once. So the high collar was starched instead of boned. The belt looked tight only because she had no slouchiness about her waistline, and there was a cleverly concealed pleat below her knees that made walking easier without spoiling the hobble skirt look. The effect was that of a sheath fitting with hardly a wrinkle over a figure too clean cut to need any decoration. The brilliance of the day gave a sparkle even to the interior of the tent. Eleanor wanted to go out. She had been working since 6 that morning, with only a pause for dinner, and she had a typewriter cramp between her shoulders. There were only 3 more letters, and she slit them open quickly. A senator had written reminding Fred of the National Conference on Waterways President Taft had summoned for next fall. Fred had already promised to attend the president's conference, so Eleanor dropped the letter into the wastebasket. The next was addressed to herself. Her eyes hastily skimmed the first paragraph. To impress upon recent graduates of American colleges for women the importance of supporting woman suffrage. That went into the wastebasket, too. As she had never had much difficulty in getting what she wanted and did not particularly care whether other people got what they wanted or not, Eleanor had no interest in causes. The last letter required an answer. She rolled a sheet of paper into the typewriter. "Nearly done?" Fred asked. She nodded, her fingers snapping out the lines. "And unless the work should be seriously impeded by bad weather, we are confident that the new levee will be finished by the 1st of March. Yours very truly, Fred Upjohn, contractor in charge." As she typed his name under the space left for his signature, Fred put out his cigar and reached for the pen. "That's the last," Eleanor exclaimed, "and I'm dead." "You don't look it," Fred answered without concern. He worked 14 hours a day when he was building a levee, and saw no reason why anybody else should object to doing the same. Eleanor made a face at him as she put an envelope into the typewriter and wrote the address. Mr. Kester Larne, Ardeith Plantation, Dalroy, Louisiana. "What's this in answer to?" Fred inquired. "Mr. Larne wrote asking when we expected to be finished. He's just hoping we'll be gone when he starts planting his cotton." "The planters don't think we're a good influence on their laborers," Fred remarked good-humoredly as he wrote his name. "But my men don't make trouble." Eleanor stood up and stretched. "Is all that cotton land over there Ardeith Plantation?" He nodded. "An enormous place. Must be 2,000 acres. Mortgaged for all it's worth, I expect," he commented indifferently. "Why do you say that?" Fred grinned as he got to his feet. "They're that sort, honey, the Larnes. Got ancestors like the plague. Too blue-blooded to work or to do anything else except drink and chase women and look mournful about the Civil War." Eleanor laughed. She had perched herself on the desk with relaxed enjoyment. "Anyway, the government's given them a good levee to protect their land." "Right." Fred started for the door. "I guess I'd better be getting back." She watched him go out of the tent. He walked with hard, firm strides, like a man who had spent most of his life walking on earth instead of pavements. "Here I am," he said with every step. "Get out of my way." Eleanor smiled as she looked after him. There was nobody else she admired as much as she did her father. After a moment, she slipped off the desk, stretched again, and went into her bedroom tent for a coat. Throwing it over her arm, she climbed the abandoned levee and walked along the crest. The air was almost twinkling. On one side of the levee, the black earth was pleading for plows, and on the other side, the river was a streak of gold and fire.